Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So for today we are going to learn how to cut this bustier corset. So first off, we are going to start by marking out our basic bodies. We are marking out the shoulder, the armhole length, the bust points, under bust, then the full length, half length, and all that. So we'll rule out the lines. This is the chest line, and then I'll go ahead to label it. So the first line we have is the chest line, the second line is the bust point, third line is the under bust length, fourth line is the half length, and the fifth line is full length. So we'll go ahead to mark our bust span measurements. The bust span for this is 8 divided by 2 will give us 4. So we'll be marking out 4 inches for the dart. We have marked it out, and then we'll be ruling it out, after which we'll now implement our dart. So for the dart, we'll be taking half inches at the left hand side, while we take 1 inches at the right hand side. So the dart will start from the under bust line. So having done it, we'll now roll it all the way to the full length. And then we'll connect it to the bust point. So having done that, we'll go ahead to mark out our neckline. We'll be making use of 3 inches by 3 inches for this, although we are not going to be needing any yoke for this, but for illustration purposes we are going to be marking it out. Then having done that, we'll now determine our shoulder dart. So for this, we'll be dividing whatever we have left into two, and then we'll connect it straight to the bust point. So at the chest line, we'll be taking half inches at the left hand side, and then 1 inch at the right hand side. And then we'll still connect it to the bust point, and then we'll rule it all the way to the shoulder. So next thing is to determine whatever you took out for the dart and then place it back. So having done that, we'll move ahead to mark out our full body measurement. The round bust for this was 30 divided by 4 give us 9. Then the round under bust was the round bust, sorry, was 36 divided by 4 will give us 9, while the round under bust and the round waist was 30, which will give us 7.5 inches for the both side. And then the full round hip for this is 42 divided by 4 will give us 10.5 inches. So having done that, you also be marking out whatever we took for the dart, and then we'll be replacing it at the other side. So we'll first rule out the normal measurements, and then we'll rule out the 2 inches that we took for the dart. Remember, the 2 inches I'm talking about is not sewing allowance. We will not be adding any sewing allowance to this. We'll only be adding sewing allowance after we are done with the whole thing while cutting it out on the fabric. That is when we will be adding 2 inches. Like I said before, we'll rule out the first one, which is the normal measurement, and then the 2 inches, which is the one we took out for the dart. So we'll also be making use of bust dart for this. So I'll be covering the shoulder, the armhole, sorry, I'll be covering the armhole by 1.5 inches, while I'll be snatching the waist by 3 inches. So at the hip line, we'll be coming up by 2 inches. Like I said before, we'll be snatching the waist by 3 inches. So while at the hip line, we'll be coming up by 2 inches, in which we'll then slant it to the midpoint. So for the neckline, we'll be coming down by half inches for that sweetheart neckline, which will now connect to the armhole. In order to clarify what I was saying before, at the full length, we came up by 2 inches because we don't want it to be sitting on, or we don't want it to be sitting on the hip. We made use of 23 inches for the full length, so we still came up by 2 inches. And then for the waist, we came in by 3 inches to give it that snatching effect. So we'll be adding half inches at the front because this corset will have button at the front. So we'll be adding 1 inches also while cutting it out. So for the back, we're now ruling out the lines that we use at the front because I want to make use of the sandpaper. So we're just basically ruling out the lines. So once we are done, we'll now go over to mark out the basic bodies for the back. So for the shoulder, we're still going to be making use of the same 7.5 inches and then the same 8 inches for the armhole length. So like I said before, we'll be making use of bust dart for this. So for the bust dart, I came down by 1 inches at the bust point. Then I'll be taking half inches at the upper side and then half inches at the lower side, and then we'll connect it all the way to the bust point, and that will be all for the front part. So we'll still be making use of the same 9 inches, which is quarter of the 36 inches for the round bust, same 7.5 inches, quarter of the round waist, and then same 10.5 inches, quarter of the round hip. So I will not be adding any dart at the back. And we'll also be snatching the waist by 3 inches at the back too. So at the back, we'll be coming down by 1 inches at the zip area, although we'll not be adding any zip to this, it's just for illustrating purposes. So we're coming down by 1 inches and then we'll slant it back to the armhole length. So like I said before, we'll be making use of 3 inches to snatch the back too. So I took out the 3 inches and then I'm connecting it back all the way from the bust line to the full length. Also remember to be coming up by 2 inches at the hip area, same thing we did at the front, so that the corset will be sitting well on the hip. So you come up by 2 inches. So for the back dip, so this indicates the area where we'll be cutting out. So for the back dip, we'll be taking half inches at the upper side of the half length line. We'll be taking half inches and then half inches at the downside, and then we'll connect it. And that will be all for the back. So for the draping part, I'll be showing the processes I went through. So for the front, I pinned it to the mannequin for me to be able to drape it well. And then, the tulle net I make use of was very stretchy, so you have to pin it. It's not something that you place on the table. You have to pin it so that you'll be able to stretch it. I'll be showing the processes I went through while draping it. For the back, I did not pin the back while draping it. I just placed it on the table and then make use of a lot of pins. So this was when I started. This was when I finished the one part. Like I said before, the center will be open. The front part the center will be open. This was the back part. I pinned it, I sewed it, and then I went ahead to press it with a steam iron. So this is almost the final part of the front part. And then this where I was done, I added a button loop to it because definitely you guys saw that we made use of buttons. And this is the back part. So thanks, bye.